My name's Julia Gorman. I'm a Melbourne artist. I mean, I would think of myself as a painter because I studied painting, but I make a lot of work which is wall drawings, and I make also sculptures, installations, light, shades, anything really, but I think of myself more as a painter because always the volume in the work comes through colour, and the materiality itself is always very thin and kind of the least substantial thing it can be while still presenting as an object. And so I want to have a sense of substantiality to the object, but I want it to always have a lightness and a sense that it could be, it's there but it could be gone. It's a transient kind of a thing. So this work that I'm going to make for the resource room here at the MCA is going to be made of self-adhesive signwriters vinyl, which I'm going to hand cut and lay down on the floor. I'm sensing that it's going to kind of flow from just outside the space and into and around the space, so that it's got a sense of kind of lapping in and out of the space. Because the space itself always dictates the work. I look at the space and then I kind of think about something it reminds me of in nature, or something I might have seen that's got a similar kind of movement, which I then try to bring back into my work. I'm interested in a flow, like the lines and the way the colours cross, intersect. So I like flow, but then I like a sense of awkwardness of the work in the space, that there are parts where it doesn't fit properly. It kind of, there's mismatches of scale and colour, but then there are other parts where everything flows easily. So yeah, I'm like interested in like stops, starts, things that don't fit into a space or try to squeeze into a space that isn't right for them. Like, and often you'll see in my work a sense of there's a compression and expansion, you know, and that can be like when a wall, like a drawing kind of has to get through a doorway, and I can see that could happen in this space where all the lines have filled the room, but then when they have to cram together through this doorway and then they can spread out again. So that kind of thing does happen again and again in the work. I always start from drawing, just drawing with pencil. Yeah, and I work from the drawing. And I just do a lot of versions of a drawing. I just do a lot of versions of how it could be. And then I decide on one out of all those drawings. And then just you order all the vinyl, you work out how much you're going to need, you order it, you have it all ready to go. And then I just cut it with scissors on the spot and stick it down so it's not cut beforehand. And the work itself actually ends up being, like people think, because in a photo it looks like it's all just very seamless strips of colour, but it's actually like quite collage, like it's just little bits that you can put on, one person can lay by hand. And then like where the colours meet, you've got to hand cut that with a knife to fit it all. So it's like lots of little tiny, some of the, like there are some bigger bits, but a lot of the bits are just little collage, and you just make a mistake or a bit isn't quite long enough, so you just add another bit and it's all just filled in. It's not like, it's quite a handmade looking thing when you see it, much more than you could see in a photo where it looks like quite smooth. Yeah, it's an organic process, but the material itself is very not organic. It's like plastic with glue on it. Yeah. I like a sense of hovering, like it's not settled yet. Yeah. It's just kind of still dynamic. Things could still change in the space, in the drawing.